growing up, any kid, any black kid in the neighborhood that wants to do more, that wants to be more, the moment they feel grown enough to start making those decisions, they do so. Like, I want to help my mom. I want to buy groceries. I want to do this. I want to do that. And oftentimes it comes with this by any means attitude. Or I just want to make it so that my mom doesn't have to buy me my sneakers no more. So for me, I get to 13, 14. I'm able to just do whatever I want on the weekends for whatever reason. My mom just trusted me. And I took advantage of that. I took advantage of that in a way where it led me to stealing things, taking things that weren't mine, selling them. And I did that only to get myself the things that I didn't want my mom to get me anymore. I never did it because I wanted to be bad. I did it because I felt like I had to. I did it because it was a means of income. It was a means of getting something that, look, Mom, because I also had a job too. So I was able to tell my mom I was working when I was working like maybe 50% of the time. Like, I would sell chocolates on the weekend. And I made a bit of money doing that. Some days were good, some days were bad. But I just tell my mom I was selling chocolates. And it afforded me, in some opportunities to like buy Jordans and or buy sneakers. And why was I buying sneakers? I was buying sneakers because I felt like I needed to go outside and show people that I was doing okay. You know what I mean? So like, from the moment you turn 12, 13, 14 as a black kid in any neighborhood, you feel like you're up against the world in terms of proving yourself, showing people you have something, when if you grow up a certain way, you probably don't. Projecting a type of image that like may not actually be you. Some people take like an aggressive approach. Some people take a flashy approach. Some people take everyone has their way of going about presenting an identity that allows them to mask what they're going through and what they're dealing with. And for me, the sneaker was that cover up. The sneaker that didn't smell, or the sneaker with no holes, or just the newest J was my way of like going outside, going to school in a neighborhood where some kids had more money for the first time, just being like, I'm doing all right. Like, I can hang with you. I'm not the poor kid, even though my mom wasn't even really making anything. You know what I mean? So for me, that's what sneakers was at the time. And it got me into a lot of trouble. It didn't get me into a lot of trouble, but it put me in a lot of situations where I could have gotten in trouble. And I was literally just doing this to cover up something that I didn't feel comfortable with as a young, visible minority. So for me, getting to this point as a photographer now where I have 100,000 followers, whatever, it doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter. But for brands to be texting me or emailing me saying, yo, can we send you this new pair? Or can we give you this? Or can we give you that? In my head, I was just like, yo, I used to rob for this shit. I used to steal stuff to get these things. Why are you giving it to me? I'm doing okay now. I could buy this myself if I really want it or if I really need it. I don't need 40 pairs of sneakers in my closet, right? I need what I need, but I feel like these could be going to better use, right? So initially, my response to that was to just like, everything that's given to me, I give away, right? Obviously sometimes I'll give you like something fire and you want to keep it, but like for the most part, like getting Air Max 1s or getting like a pair of Air Forces that like, yo, I could hold these and like make an effort to wear these, but do I really need these? And when the answer was no, or like, even if the answer was yes, like I could, someone could benefit from this. So for me, like, I reached a point where it's just like, I'm taking photos, but I'm not happy. Everyone's telling me like I should be happy. Everyone's suggesting that I'm the man. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. My mom's proud, but I feel like something's missing. So for me, it was just like, okay, well, how can I use my quote unquote audience to stir something positive? And for me, that was just like, let me try, to get as many people in situations similar to me to give up their excess so that we can give it to kids who would directly benefit from this, right? And from there, that happens. Like, well, what are we going to call giving back sneakers? Like, we need to brand it some way, somehow, just so that, like, if we want to do it again, like, we have a lineage. You know, that was my thought process at the time. And from there, it was just like, I don't know, the kickback, you know, like giving back shoes, kicks, giving back, kickback, boom. And it just kind of stuck from there, to be honest. I just kind of believed in it and went with it. And at first, it was an idea I had by myself. And ironically enough, you know, Mustafa was there with the shopping cart at 15, 16, helping me put the shoes inside the cart while I was mentoring him and, you know, giving him any type of advice I had, or sharing my experiences in any capacity, and just bringing it over to the community center that housed a lot of the mentors that I grew up with or raised me, and just saying thank you for everything you guys are going through, and persevering through, and trust me when I say, like, we can be better as a community. We can grow together. You know, I feel like a lot of times the kids would get things from people, but they would feel like a hand-me-down or a handout. But I wanted these sneakers to represent like a form of acknowledgement, saying that I understand where you're coming from. I could empathize. I'm on your team. And we could do this together. Regardless of how often you see me, I'm here. If you need something, reach out. And the sneakers were like my way of connecting and becoming, you know, close with some of the youth that were next to, like, you know, grow up. And in doing that, you just realize, like, oh, I just gave out a bunch of sneakers, but, like, I don't know what anyone learned. So for me, from there, just like every single thing we've done after that, it took like a year from there to do something, and then another half of a year to do that. But since the beginning of like 2018, we've been doing something every single month, at least once. Like, that became the rule. Just do something once a month. You know, like, those rules just provide you like some type of structure, and they set you on a path for, you know, constant development. Because anyone who's critical and cares about what they're doing is going to step back and be like, well, how can this be better? Step back. How can this be better? How can this be better? And it naturally just improves, right? Oh, we need to be more organized. Oh, like, we need to recap it better. Oh, we need to share the story right after. We can't wait 5 days. All these kind of things that kind of come into consideration as you get the opportunity to pay attention. So, yeah, I mean, where we're at now is just a reflection of, like, you know, constant analyzing of what we do and how we do it. And I mean, the biggest factor is just like, now I'm not the only person working on it. Like, you know, Christian is a huge proponent as to why we are where we are in terms of just becoming more organized and more structured. And then all the other people that, you know, do Charlie, like all the guys that contribute on a video from a video and ideation perspective, you know, the new people like the Theos, the Stellas, Desiree, Christine, all of those people, like they're so beneficial because they're ready to drop whatever it is on their plate to just, like, you know, serve the greater purpose. Like our website designer, our designer, you know, those guys, they come through every time. They're open to, like, you know, lower budgets or maybe no budget, but we understand that if we build the brand a certain way, and, you know, there's value in our image and there's equity in terms of what we've been able to do and the suggestion of what we can do, like, no one could take that away from us, right? So, I mean, where we're at now, I feel really good about it. But, like, even just like the last 2 weeks have taught me especially that, like, it's time to let go of things that I've generally accepted as a responsibility, so that, like, kids that are saying, I want to help or I want to get involved. Okay, well, I think you could, my job as a leader is to, like, who'd be best for what, to free up my time so that I could dive back into the, you know, the big picture of it, the ideation of it, the awareness of it, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, even because I think what learning from about how nonprofits or charity form is, like, you obviously start with an idea, and after the biggest challenge is kind of building the structure for that idea to become like long-term an organization.
And I think even too for us, like, we really want to challenge what that structure looks like, because at the end of the day, the charity is a system in and of itself, right? Nonprofits are a system in and of itself. And quite frankly, like if you really like get into the nitty gritty of it, as much as they do go towards changing communities, they are put in place to benefit rich white people. You know, what's the tax receipt? You know what I mean? Where does that come from? Why are people starting charities? Are they starting charities because they want to help? Or are they starting charities so that they could put their money in something else that they got going on, so that they can keep their money and not pay taxes? You know, like, I want to challenge everything, because even too, the way charity works is like, oh, you tell me what you're going to do next year, this year. And if we approve it, then you can do that next year. I don't have no time to wait around for that. You know, I'm just going to do what I want to do. And it's helped and it's hurt us. You know, like we've lost out on, you know, like charitable opportunities in terms of like receiving a grant from the city, because like they just see us as like unstructured. Yeah. But in my mind, it's just like, that's how the world works today. You got to be flexible. You got to be on your toes. You never know what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And if I build a charity the same way that the charities that were in place to help me, how much change are we really going to see? You know what I mean? It's just like repeating history. Like, why am I going to subscribe to this? Like, why am I going to subscribe to this, like, you know, adventure that you just kind of like let people in on and then throw them off when they're done? I want to create an adventure for the people that I believe in and the kids that I believe in our own way that speaks to us, that we, in a way that we believe, right? So for me now, it's just like challenging that, like, oh, well, how can we raise money on our own? How can we make this sustainable on our own? And when those things happen, they're a blessing, but we don't need them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like that's the space we live in now.